You're at Amex, you're building this. Then what does that look like while you're doing both at the same time?
Was making everything in my apartment, started out myself. When it got to the point where it outgrew myself, I found people on Facebook Marketplace to come to my kitchen table and help me.
You're running like a small factory.
Like, do your job or quit. Revenue went from I made $16,000 in 2023 to I made $55,000 in July of 2024.
So you literally sent Hannah Chody jewelry.
She posted a video talking about Sweet Green getting rid of their arugula, wearing the necklace. All the comments were, okay, but where's your necklace from?
Good Shabbos, schmoozers. Welcome back to Schmoozing with Span, the podcast where we talk all things niche, nosh, and New York with just a little bit of chutzpah. Today, we're schmoozing with the one, the only, the spiciest of them all, the founder of Spicy Dan. She's a fellow Jersey girl turned cowgirl. She's in her boots. Now thriving in New York. Lots of synergies we're excited to discuss as a fellow former tech girly. The girl who made carabiners hot. Is that how you pronounce it properly?
Yes, you're doing great.
Necklaces chaotic and somehow turned Hannah Chody's favorite crown jewels. But today we're diving deeper. Beyond the spice and the jewels, we're talking about career pivots, overcoming difficulties, and what it actually likes to turn your true passion into a brand. So grab a niche latte, throw on your favorite crown jewels, and let's schmooze with Spicy Dan. Hey.
I'm so excited to be here. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Tell us a little bit background, because sometimes I assume everybody knows everything, but dive a little deeper. Who are you?
No, you're perfect. And you did a great intro. I'm Danielle. I have started and designed the jewelry brand called Spicy Dan. You can find us at Shop Spicy Dan on our website, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not that great at TikTok. I originally am from New Jersey, like you said, lived in Texas for a while, which is, I feel like, where we have a ton of overlap. Also was an original Oracle girly as well in Austin post-grad. I started my jewelry brand in late 2022, early 2023, and have been doing it full time since November 2024. So for like a year and a half now. And I'm so excited to be here and kind of dive a little bit more deep into some things.
How long did you live in Austin after college?
I lived in Austin. I graduated in May 2020. Wow, I wish. 2017. I graduated in May 2017 and I moved to New York in fall 2021.
Oh,
so for a while, for 4.5 years, I was the most annoying person on earth that kind of moved and then would come back and sleep on my best friend's bed with her for months on end. But I officially moved in fall 2021 back to New York.
Did you live at the Arnold?
I lived at the Arnold for 2 months when I was subleasing in between leases.
I feel like it's a bit that everybody who lives in Austin post-grad, they live at the Arnold and work at Oracle. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, my fiance moved to Austin for a year. That's where we met, but he was living at the Arnold and he would hang out with your friends who all lived at the Arnold. And he was like, that's such a crazy, we were living in a dorm.
It's a glorified dorm.
That just lived in my building and everyone would just hang out and go to each other's rooms. It was dorm, but we were 26.
I know. I didn't live at the Arnold, but I spent a lot of time there. I feel like it's a niche pipeline of Arnold, Oracle, all that. Yes. But 4 years post-grad's a long time.
Yes, I love it so much there.
Did you get any inspo for your jewelry business when you were living there?
I really did. I actually think I got a lot of inspo from living there. I love how, one thing about the jewelry that I try to advertise and try to talk about is you could really wear it with whatever. It's not necessarily something that you have to wear with your best outfit. You could wear it with your workout clothes. You could wear it going to work. You could wear it going out. It's just supposed to be something fun that's almost an extension of you. It's really customizable and personable in that way. There's so many different styles, and I feel like I designed it in that way where it's wear it with whatever you want to wear it with. And I think that a lot of that did come from Austin, where it's such a casual city and you can kind of go between your cute little workout set to going to lunch to maybe going to a bar to maybe ending up and you're not home until 2 a.m. And I think I had a lot of that in mind when designing it. And then as far as the marketing, even for the brand, I was living in Austin even before post-grad. I went to UT Austin. So I was there from 2013 to 2021 is a decent range. And during that range, we really experienced the rise of the mania that was Outdoor Voices at the time. And I think one thing that Ty Haney did super well in its peak in that like 2018, 2019 heyday was it was kind of like a brand for the people in a way. Like me and my friends would go to her run clubs. If we saw a drop, we would stop by the store. We would go to brunch around and walk there and see if there was anything new. It was just such a community focused brand in that period of time, especially in Austin. And we were all obsessed. We felt we were like, it was an extension of us almost. And I think as I grow the marketing and the community aspect, I do find myself thinking back to Outdoor Voices in like 2018 and what Ty had done such a good job of building when it came to that community aspect and trying to implement that.
Yeah, and we're going to dive deeper talking about like being the founder behind the brand and like the pressure of like showing behind the scenes and all that. But I do think on the community side, like everyone, that's all people talk about right now is like building community, building community. But I think everybody, now everybody's like, let's hopefully 2026 is like 2016, like, like that kind of energy.
I would love that.
But I think you do a good job of like that experiential aspect of it as well. It's like partnering with like these cool brands. You've done cool partnerships with like Park. I saw you were doing something recently with like Stony Clover, like having footprint in their stores, right?
Yeah, we've done pop-ups. We've done a bunch of pop-ups with Stony Clover. We did a collab with Park. We did a collab with Ireland Baldwin that was benefiting the Oregon Dachshund Rescue. We've done obviously the things with Hannah Chody. And I think with those partnerships, it's obviously as a smaller brand and growing, it's great exposure to get to new markets. But it's also like connecting with like if you already follow the brand too and you're also a fan of Stony Clover or you have a Dachshund, I think it's Dachshund. I don't know. I feel like it's connecting to people and like what their interests are. And from the design standpoint, I have a lot of fun kind of trying to design with that in mind when it comes to these collabs. Obviously, it's also great for marketing and like bringing in money, which you need to run a brand. But it's really fun to be able to like meet these communities where they're at and almost like design fun things for them.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about how you started Spicy Dan.
Started Spicy Dan, formally like made the LLC in March 2023. I had been making jewelry for years and years before that. Friends would come to me and ask me to make gifts for their mom, their sister, their best friend, whoever. Then I went to a launch party. A good friend of mine, if you know Makeup XKA, who is also an OG Oracle girly, that she launched an app. I went to her launch party and I had watched her grow her makeup company brand from the beginning. We were at Oracle talking about how much we hated it. And she was doing makeup on the side and she would invite a bunch of our friends over on Saturdays and do our makeup and post videos of it. And she is so smart and so talented and grew her brand so large and ultimately launched this app. I went to her launch party and this whole time she kept telling me, because we were both ideating, like, we want to get out of here. We want to do something creative and fun. And she would just be like, do something that you like doing, even if it's a side thing. Like, you love making jewelry, like do something with it. You love vintage shopping. Just keep doing the things that you're doing. And for a while I felt like I was just like, I can't. And then went to her launch party and I was so miserable at work. At the time I was working at American Express, great place to work. It was just not a great place for me to work. And after going and seeing all that she accomplished, I was like, she's right. Like, I should just, even for my own personal enjoyment, I wasn't even thinking about it as far as starting a company. Yeah. I should make more jewelry and lean into that creative side that I always had and would do for fun and wanted to do more. And then my dad ended up passing away somewhat unexpectedly in April 2023, so like a month after I made my LLC. And at that point, I was at all my Amex job, like camera off. I'm just making jewelry, posting it on my website that I had made, going to these markets, selling absolutely nothing. And then in spring, I want to say May 2024, that's when Hannah Chody, I DM'd her and I was like, can I send you a necklace? She said yes, she wore it. And it kind of took off from there. And at that point, I was slightly more strategic where I was like, I think I can ride this wave and see where this goes. That was a lot. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, no, it's awesome. It's like such a cool journey. I remember my first manager at Oracle told me about Makeup by Kelly, and I was like, oh my God, this girl made it. She doesn't have to cold call all day. And I was like, oh my God, this girl doesn't have to cold call all day. She's so lucky, but I get it. I remember when I left too, they were like, my manager was like not surprised. I've been there 4 years. And he was like, and I was like, I just had too much personality for technology. I don't know what to tell you. But it's a great company.
This might be a hot take. Some of my friends disagree with me. I graduated college 2017. I decided I wanted to stay in Austin. I had no idea for what I wanted to do. My parents were very clear that like when you graduate, we're done here. So figure it out. I've always been fairly independent in that way. And I was really immature. I knew I wanted to stay in Austin. I was way more focused on like having fun and going out than I necessarily was a career. And I did it. Obviously went to Oracle. Yeah. For anyone who's unfamiliar, Oracle like the technology company hires probably around, I don't know if they still do, but at the time around like 3,000 people every year, just straight new grads to train them, to have them work at like this entry level job in a class, very structured program. And for someone like me that needed a job, got an education at UT, needed something, it was absolutely perfect. And for anyone who's maybe on that more immature side of the coin that doesn't know what they want to do, I recommend everyone to do it. I think it's such an easy transition. I have absolutely no regrets about it, but I know some of my friends were like, it was awful and I hated it. But that's my point of view about it.
I agree. So then you went from, okay, so you're really unhappy there. You're seeing your friend Kelly like really growing. At the time, did you feel like when you progressively saw her growing, is that when you felt like, oh, I could do this too? Or what else was like really gave you the spark that like, I can do this as well?
I had so many lives between Oracle and starting this. Yeah. I worked at Oracle for 2 years. Then I worked at a startup accelerator VC fund called Capital Factory in Austin. Did that for 9 months. Was doing South by Southwest and Austin Startup Week programming. I really liked that job. I don't think I was exceptionally great at it, but I enjoyed it. Got laid off, then went to a more traditional venture capital fund where I was doing relationship management. Actually liked that one, did that for 2 years, and then went to Amex to do product strategy for their startup program. Honestly, I don't think there was a point where I was like, I can do this. I think after my dad passed away, I was in such a bad place that it was a distraction and it was something that I was enjoying doing. And so for me, it was an easy thing to put a lot of my time and energy because it was like therapeutic and fun and creative. And I wasn't necessarily thinking about anything else when I was making jewelry and drawing and doing all of that. And from there, I kind of it was a combo, I think, rather than there was any moment where I was like, I can do this.
Yeah. You were in the venture capital world for a while. How do you think that intersects with your role today? Like, is there any skill sets you learned from that you think has been helpful in growing Spicy Down?
Yeah, I think it actually has been really helpful. I don't have any investment. It's entirely bootstraps and self-funded. But I think in terms of thinking about the like benchmarks in a way in growing a business and just like when to hire people and partner management and relationship management. And I think things like that have been really helpful. In any job, you're going to get that. But I think working so closely with founders who are starting their own companies, most of them were tech companies. They were obviously very different. But having that point of view, witnessing that from like the venture capital side, I think has been very helpful in a way.
Yeah. Are there any founders that you've met since starting Spicy Dan or like brands that you really inspire you a lot right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a ton of creative brands, especially in New York, that are doing really great things. I think Abode is one that they do such a good job about their marketing. They do such a good job, obviously, with their product store. Abby's very good at cohesive branding. She's also very good at content, which is an area that I am not very good at. That's one that I find super impressive. Maggie Villamaria Jewelry, who's another friend of mine who has been doing jewelry since we were in college, would like go door to door to sorority houses, but she does such a good job of her personal brand interweaved with her jewelry and art brand. And I always look up to her and what she's doing to stay creative and to just keep putting out content and to be making gorgeous pieces for both jewelry and for art. I think Good Girl, all the ones that I follow on Instagram that I feel like so creepy, I'm like, they're doing so good. Like Good Girl Snacks, the pickles, those girls are so creative, so fun. They do a great job of content. I bought their pickles at Whole Foods this week.
For Spicy Dan, like what really makes it stand out is the carabiner. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, carabiner.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to like trademark something like that? Like how does that work? Do you know what I mean? Because people like, have you noticed anybody copying you yet or not?
Okay, two separate things.
Yeah, two separate things.
First, how did I come up with that? Well, am I going to trademark that?
Or can you even?
I'm not going to. I don't know if you can even. I feel like with jewelry,
it's hard.
Jewelry is really great opportunities to be creative, but also like there's a million takes someone could have on a carabiner. It's not necessarily something that I invented and that's unique to me. Neither is a beaded necklace. I think what makes the brand so unique is my point of view and the way that I like built out the brand and the customizable aspect. And I feel like my touch on it rather than it being, I want to focus more of my attention on how can I continue to innovate on this and design new things and be more creative rather than it being like, how can I stop other people from doing something similar?
Yeah.
I think one way that I'm trying to do that is different shapes of carabiners. Like we just launched the hearts and the stars. We have if you can see, I'm wearing the heart one now, but we have a few more that are in the works. That's just where I don't know if that might not be the right choice. That's kind of how I'm thinking. And then to the question of like other people doing the same thing, I think if I'm inspiring people to do something similar, that doesn't bother me. I think there's been a few cases where I've seen exact copies, and that's where I get a little bit angry. But then I also try to tell myself that you can't copy someone into success. You need to have, if you're using the carabiner and you have your own point of view, like I have no qualms at all with that.
How'd you come up with the carabiner though?
I had found one, like I was buying a lot of vintage dead stock or vintage antique stuff on Etsy that I was using, and I found in neon yellow like a small lot of them on Etsy. I made our now Benny necklace. If you look on our website, it's a purple amethyst with neon yellow. And that was the first one kind of even prior to Hannah Chody that kind of got some traction. People seemed to really like that. And then from there, I found a manufacturer, started thinking of like new colors, designing them around those. And that's really how that got started. So like I found it on Etsy. I didn't like the initial V1 of it was found on Etsy. It's not something that I like drew out and patented in that way. So
awesome. No, that I feel like people they'll like associate it now with you, which is cool.
I love that. Yeah. No, that's been really fun. And it's been really fun to even like iterate with thinking of new colors, new shapes, different use cases for it, different ways. Like you can link the two together and it looks kind of like a horse bit, which people were saying you should do something for Year of the Horse. And I was like, that I think is an authentic
that would be
way to incorporate that. So I'd love to like do more branding with that. But I feel like, I've loved just being able to iterate on this one thing and continue to grow it. Because to your point, it is such a distinguishing factor of the brand. And I absolutely am so grateful and love that.
Yeah. I also think it's nice to have like a distinguishable factor that's also, this is something we kind of spoke about before, but right now, a lot of founders are like building, like it's behind the scenes journey. Like for example, like Kato, I think she does a good job of that right now, where it's like
TikToks.
Building behind the scenes, and people love a founder's journey. I mean, I love a founder's journey because I'm like, when I go to like, now if I go to a grocery store, I'm like, if I don't know the person who sells that, like I can't buy it. Sometimes I go to Whole Foods, I'm like, there's actually nothing for me here. Like there's no sour milk, there's no front. Like I'm like so niche, it's out of control. I'm like, I don't know the founder of this brand, I can't shop here. But
you're a ride or die.
I'm loyal. But I was thinking like, for you want to build a brand that's bigger than you being the face behind the brand as well. So how do you like navigate that?
I don't know if I'm doing that well, but to your point, I also don't love making the content, honestly. I know that it's a necessary part of it. It's not a part of it that I enjoy. Like I was saying, I started it. It wasn't necessarily something that I was like, now is the time. Here's the strategy. I started doing it because it was therapeutic and it was making me like mentally feel better and I loved it. And I've always loved art, design, doing all of that. I've not necessarily aspired to be a content creator. And for me, there's a little bit of a mental block because there's so many parts of running a business that I already don't love that don't involve like putting my face in front of the world, like accounting and like P&L and like all of that.
Yeah.
That for me personally, it's really daunting to be like, I don't like all of those things. And now I have to put my face out there and make content and sound articulate and like think about the algorithms. I do feel like I need to be doing more than I am. But then on the flip side of it, to that point, part of me is also like, if I want to build a brand that's larger than me and that is more focused on the customer and the jewelry and this community, how much of it needs to be like, do I really need to? And where I'm trying to, especially in 2026, think about are repeatable content opportunities that I can be making.
Yeah.
That's less necessarily about me and my journey because I don't love doing that. I'm happy to share like this, but I don't really want to make content about it.
Yeah.
And more creating this content that I can put out there because you do need to be putting out content if you have a brand, but that's more focused on the brand and the community.
No, totally. It's probably like more ways to integrate like community and moments than too. How do you, a lot of your necklaces are named after dogs. Where did that inspiration come from?
It's so hard to name things. You have like 20 necklaces that you're putting on a website. What are you going to call them? Like what? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. It is so hard to name things. So many, I'm in my early 30s. I started in my late 20s. So many of my friends had pets. I was like, great. Winnie. I have a dog named Tito. Like Leecha, everyone, your animal will get a necklace because it made it easy. It was honestly just one less thing to think about. And also, I love animals and it was cute. So it kind of just like really worked.
I actually feel like that's your like differentiator. Like people, I'm not even kidding. Like I feel like you have like the whole niche Austin dog community. Like if you meet a dog there.
It is such a niche Austin dog community. All my Austin friends' dogs have names. You have Hannah's, Dante, and Tony. I have some like one cat. One of my friends has a cat and she was like, can you name it after my cat? Absolutely.
You're like, we don't discriminate here.
No, absolutely. We do not discriminate. But yeah, it just was honestly, it started out being a cute and also one less thing to think about.
I think you need like a partnership with like, I don't even know, like a farmer's dog.
I just started feeding my dog farmer's dog. I would love.
No, I love that. Do you feel, it sounds good though. Like it sounds like you don't feel that much pressure though to be the face behind the brand as much. Like you are the face behind the brand obviously, but you're not. Like, I feel like some people would tell you, like, double down on this. You know what I mean?
I wish I felt more pressure.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Kind of. You need to be putting out content. I don't think I'm doing it enough. And I've yet to find the right balance that works for me. To the people that are saying you need to be putting out videos every single day, they're not necessarily wrong, but it's not like a one size fits all for everyone. Like me putting out founder content would not be authentic to me. I don't think it would be authentic to the brand. Like if I was to do that, it's just so not what I want to be doing. And like that shows like when you watch founder content and they're so excited to be there, so excited to be sharing, so comfortable in front of the camera. It's amazing to watch. And if they're not, it's not. And I don't think it would be if I was doing that. So I'm trying to like, I want to in this year make more content, but that's really less focused on me and more focused on the community that is a part of it.
Yeah. I also am obsessed with your website. Like I think your brand identities and like the website's amazing.
Thank you. That was a lot of work and I'm so happy with how it came out. I'll plug my camp friend also who ended up working at Oracle. His name is Jeff. He has a studio called A Unified Whole and he designed and did everything and it came out so lovely.
Where'd you go to camp?
Echo Lake.
I'm familiar. So you're at Amex, right? You're building this. Then what does that look like while you're doing both at the same time? How are you navigating that?
I really wasn't doing my job at Amex at all. I was really grateful that I had an amazing manager. She's the best person ever. I had great people on my team. And at a certain point, my manager, her name is Jackie. She's the absolute best. But she kind of came to me and was like, you got to go. Like, she did not fire me. I asked her to, and she would not. She was like, you're clearly building something. I don't think you're ever going to get to a point where you feel comfortable leaving on your own. And this is my way of telling you, you need to do that. She was like, you need to start doing your job because I simply was not doing it. or do your job or quit.
Basically. And was that pre or post Hannah Chody?
That was post. That was in November. My revenue went from like I made $16,000 in 2023 to I made $55,000 in July of 2024 alone post Hannah Chody. Like it was trending upwards. Since then, it's obviously cyclical, so it's gone all the way up. Like that was at that point, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. But I told her at that point, I don't think I was at a point where I should have been trying to get a new job, get a promotion. And I told her at that point that I was most likely going to leave the company to eventually pursue Spicy Dan. And then I kind of also stopped working.
When you saw the sales from Hannah Chody, though, were you like, is this real?
Yes. I actually was like, this is the coolest thing on earth. For better or for worse, I think one thing that has served me in this is everything cool that's happened. I've been like, this is the coolest thing ever. It's not going to get better than this. And it obviously continuously has, but I think having that mindset has in a way been helpful.
So you literally just sent her, to give context, so you literally sent Hannah Chody jewelry.
Yes.
This was not a collaboration. The collaboration sparked after.
She posted an Instagram. I had followed her for a little bit. She had posted an Instagram story, where do I get fun jewelry for the spring? I replied to it and asked if I could send her a piece. She sent me her address. I sent it to her. She posted a video talking about Sweet Green getting rid of their arugula, wearing the necklace on TikTok. I need to find it. This was in spring 2024. All the comments were, okay, but where's your necklace from? And then she was plugging it. And she's honestly one of the nicest people that I've worked with. I sold like 30 to 40 necklaces in 24 to 48 hours after I'd sold maybe like 3 a month on average prior, most of them to my friends and family. And from there, we kind of became friendly. And I met her in September when I was visiting Austin. I did an event there, and that's where the collab kind of sparked. But she was organically, from gifting, became a fan and a customer of the brand.
So you were selling 3 and then you went to 40. How were you able to fulfill those orders that quickly?
I was making everything in my apartment, started out myself. When it got to the point where it outgrew myself, I found people on Facebook Marketplace to come to my kitchen table and help me. And then my fiance was like, you literally can't do this, because I was also still working at Amex. So they were making jewelry at my kitchen table while I was like on a Zoom in the corner. And
you're running like a small factory.
I was. And then I ultimately found this woman. Her name is Melinda. She lives in Westchester, New York. She has a group of 4 to 5 women that all hand make everything at her studio, and found her website was jewelryassembly.com. I was just like, I need jewelry assembly help. And
how long did your Facebook crew last?
Like 6 weeks.
That's like a summer at camp.
It was.
Right.
I had some girls from Facebook, some teachers who were friends of friends that were off for the summer that wanted to help out. But yeah, it was like a summer of camp. It was 6 weeks of them coming to my apartment and making jewelry.
And so then you go, so with Melinda, she's like hand beating the jewels for you. But what about inventory? Where are you putting all of this? Like before, it was all in your apartment, right?
It was all in my apartment. I was packing and shipping everything in December 2024 when we launched the Dante. We sold, I think, 600 necklaces that month.
Oh my
and
God.
I was packing and bringing everything to the post office myself. In January 2025, got the flu really, really bad. Was out for like over 2 weeks. Couldn't pack a box. Couldn't do anything. And I'm getting these angry emails from customers, rightfully so. Hey, I ordered this at the end of December. Why hasn't my order shipped? And I couldn't respond and be like, I have the flu. I'm really sick. Sorry. Like, they think it's a real company. They didn't know it was just me making it in my apartment. So after that, I found a warehouse that was local in Brooklyn, like a third-party logistics company that took over all of the packing and shipping, because it was just me and I could not do it myself. And I realized that, longevity speaking, me getting sick cannot be like a bottleneck for orders not going out. Like, the company still needs to run.
So then did you move everything into like a warehouse?
Yeah, so I moved everything into a warehouse, and they had a team that has been packing and shipping that since. I think I might be bringing that in-house again and scaling that down, which my mind changes on that every day. I feel like when you have the mindset of scaling up, thinking I actually need to scale this a little bit down is interesting. I'm thinking about that for a few reasons. Obviously, it's very expensive. The monthly cost range, like warehouses are expensive, 3PLs are expensive for anyone starting a company. If you need that, that's a cost that you need to be adding in. My monthly cost range anywhere from 3,000 to like 8,000
Wow.
a month, depending on how, because you pay per pick, you pay per hour of the time that these staff are working. And it adds up. If you, each sticker that goes in the box, you're paying for that sticker, like them to pick up that sticker and put it in a box. Scaling it down, I think, as I've hired a team and we now have 2 full-time employees, I'd like to bring on, if we scale it down, I will bring on a part-time person to kind of manage those logistics and be in charge of that packing and shipping. For us, we are so, like, I want to be so closely connected with the customer, and I do find that having it be at a warehouse, there is a disconnect that I don't enjoy having. Like, I want to be able to be putting in handwritten notes. If something takes long to ship, I want to be able to write them, I'm sorry, throw them in an extra, like, little goodie, a hat or something from our merch. And right now, it's just really difficult to do that in addition to the cost. And I feel like I want to, especially as we grow, make sure that we can be as closely connected with the customers as possible. And I feel like the best way to do that is to then scale down, bring the shipping in-house. And if I need to spend 2 days packing boxes, so be it. I'm happy to do it. We are a small business, and I honestly love doing that part of it. So that's where my head's at now. But like I said, it's such a big decision that I feel like my mind changes every given second.
Is it like a month-to-month type of thing?
Yeah.
Do you feel like part of it might be pressure from other people that are like optics-wise, people think like, oh, you're scaling down, but I feel like you're so confident in like the reasoning why behind too. You know what I mean?
Honestly, no. It's not so much an optics thing.
Yeah.
It's more of I'm trying to do the math that I have certain goals that I really want to hit sales-wise this year, both wholesale as expanding more into wholesale as well as obviously customer sales. And it's just doing the math on what's possible for us to fulfill in-house. And if we have one part-time person and then we have to hire another, what does that cost? What is the risk versus like, honestly, like those are all like the actual business heavy decisions, which I don't
and
love
what is your
doing.
What does your team look like now? Like what are their 2 roles?
Yes. So we have one girl who's our marketing coordinator / also my assistant when needed to be at times, has been a huge help. She started in June. She's been amazing, and she does all of our customer service, all of our email marketing, all of our like inventory management, so letting us know when we need to restock. We have another girl that just started in late December who's our wholesales manager. And so she came from a traditional fashion background with a bunch of relationships, and she's one of our goals for 2026 as we scale is to really have more of that in-person presence. We're currently on Nordstrom, we're on Local Eclectic, we're at a bunch of local retailers, but we want to grow. I'd love to get on a Shopbop or Evolve, would love to be in more department stores, especially some of those smaller high-end regional department stores, and that's where she comes in, and that's her entire focus.
What was that feeling like when you found out you got into like Nordstrom? I feel like
that was really exciting. One, it's very funny because everything, even with this company, you still have corporate timelines. So everything is still taking 6 to 12 months from first conversation to execution. So being on Nordstrom is so exciting. But then there's also like the funny part, which is I feel like I was almost more excited on like the second call when I was like, this is happening. And then when it launched, it was more, finally, I've been waiting for this for so long. But that's not to discount. It was absolutely amazing. I'm so happy to be there.
No, that's awesome. In terms of partnerships, right? Like collaborating, let's say with like a Park or a Hannah Chody, what does that look like? Is it more, how did those types of partnerships come to life? Like hers was obviously a unique situation, but let's say going forward, if you want to partner with somebody, what does that look like?
Yeah, it's been different for all of them. I would say Some of them is more traditional wholesale, custom, exclusive, which sounds like a lot of words, but basically we'll design a necklace, they'll purchase it for us at wholesale cost, and then they can resell it on their site. If we're selling something on our website with another brand's name, we will do a licensing or royalty deal where we will pay them X percentage for their name, image, and likeness on our website. So it's kind of a mix. I would say each one's pretty unique.
And in terms of creative, is it interesting working like brand to brands, like to see how they think of their creative strategy as well?
It is. All of the brands that we've worked with thus far have been amazing in the sense that they've given us creative. If a brand wants to work with us, it's because they like what we're putting out there. So while it is obviously collaborative in the design process, it's kind of letting us lead that creative and more iterating from there, which has been really fun, but also makes sense. Like if we're so small still, and we do have such a unique niche that if someone wants to work with us, they kind of trust us, which has been really fun to work with.
Let's just like let people really visualize this and take it in. You were at a farmer's market, you're selling 2 necklaces a month per se.
Yeah.
Then you went from a month of $50,000 worth of sales, right?
Okay.
Then
was doing 3 a month for about a year and a half. Gifted necklace to Hannah Chody. Did 9,000 in the month that we gifted to her. I think that was May.
Yeah.
22,000 in June. 55,000 in July. I think we went back down to 10,000 in August. And then by December, which was when we released the Dante, we did 100,000 in sales. And that was the point where I was like, oh, wait, this is a real company.
So now looking at all those numbers, which are like, it's insane. It's going into 2026. Like, what are your goals?
My goals for 2026, I want
the year of the horse.
The year of the
year of the spicy Dan horse.
I know we need to do more of the horse bit. I'm gonna make some more content about how to do the horse bit.
Maybe you need to go to a farm and like with a horse wearing a spicy Dan.
I love animals. I would love to go to a farm and do a photo shoot on a farm or something. I love animals so much. Goals, I would say I really want, and bringing on the wholesale manager is part of our way of doing this, but I want to be able to have more predictive revenue.
Yeah.
I want to be able to hit the goals that I'm making, set those goals with accuracy, be able to predict when you're going to have low months. It's part of life. Yeah. I want to be able to kind of predict when those are and plan for them rather than it being, oh my God, I haven't sold nearly enough this month. I'm stressed about how I'm going to pay my employees or how I'm going to pay my office space, any of that. So that's a huge goal for this year. I want to continue to expand that retail footprint. I think, well, you and I are very online. There's a lot of the world that isn't and still does shop in retail, still does. Is if they want to look for something, they're going to go to a Revolve or a Nordstrom or their local favorite retailer, and I want to be there. And again, another reason for this wholesale manager hire is I want to make sure that we're top of mind, we're there. And as well as partnerships, continuing to grow partnerships. There's a few that I am hoping we can do within the next goal dream partnerships over the next few months to years. So we'll see.
Is there any brands you could share that would be a dream partner to work with?
Brands that would be a dream partner. I love reality TV. I would love to do some sort of authentic, cool, elevated reality TV partnership in any form, maybe something at NBC Universal, because then you have Love Island, you have Bravo, any of that I feel would be a dream partnership. I love a CPG company. I think there's really fun opportunities there. I feel like something in a canned beverage or a snack would be a very fun partnership to do. As well as beauty or skincare, would love to work with. I think both Rhode and Rare Beauty are doing so well. They both have such a clear point of view. I love both of their visions. I love both of the products. I think either of those as well would be dream partnerships.
Oh, that's awesome. I love, like you were saying, it is still though, even though we're both so, or at least I'm so online, it's an issue, but it's being able to touch and feel and experience the product in real life is amazing. And it kind of then then people like discover it. Let's say they discover it in person, but then they go online and then they really feel like a part of the community of your brand. You do a really good job of that.
Thank you. I agree. I think being able to touch and feel it is great. And also, I think for longevity standpoint, like both things are going to continue to exist. So I think you have to meet people where they're at. You can't just be only online or only in person, one or the other.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, what does it look like in terms of, so for people that don't know, you're able to go onto Spicy Dan's website and customize your own necklace as well.
Yes.
What percentage would you say is like people customizing versus?
I would say it's really high.
Yeah.
Like very high. It's funny because when we were designing the website, there was the big question of are you giving people analysis paralysis? Are you giving too many options? And my mindset was, let's see what happens. Let's launch it. And if we're seeing more people are buying the pre-mades, we'll take some off. And if we see that people are liking this, we'll leave it and continue to add to it. People will buy the pre-mades, but make it in Build-A-Drip. They'll customize it. So like one of our most popular necklaces is our MAC. It's a sodalite necklace, which is like a navy, almost denim-y. It kind of has some whites and navies in it with a gold carabiner. And I would say 75% of people are building that combo in Build-A-Drip because it's just such a fun experience, even though they could buy it pre-made as well. So that's been fun to see.
Yeah. We have a few minutes left, so we're going to do some fun questions for Spicy Dan. So maybe just to hone in on your niche. I know, though, we were discussing, though, that Austin is like a really strong community for Spicy Dan, which is probably really fun and full circle to see, like, you know, Jersey girls. Then you end up there and like now your brand is like, you know, has like this big presence and community there. In terms of like, what would be a dream day? Like if you were to be in Austin 24 hours?
If I was to be in Austin 24 hours, I feel like definitely walking the trail with my friends. My friends are so good. I'm not the earliest riser. My friends are so good at getting up early and like 7 a.m. trail walk. I'm joining them. I'll make it work. Getting a coffee. I love Meteor. I love Swedish Ale. I feel like I'm basic. I love Desnudo.
Obvious.
One of those, probably getting a coffee at, maybe getting a breakfast taco. Probably anywhere, honestly. I don't discriminate. Like
Taco Joy, Veracruz
or Pueblo. Pueblo is probably my number one.
Wait,
Pueblo
I've never
Viejo.
been there.
Oh, next time you go, it's amazing. There's two. There's one at the Flitch Coffee on the east side, and there's one at Cosmic in South Austin by like Manchaca. Yeah, probably my favorite. Then I feel like I don't do that much when I'm in Austin. I'm not gonna lie. I like to shop. I don't want to I kind of want to gatekeep my places that I like to shop in Austin, but I love Garmin and Moss. They're both high-end consignment stores on South Lamar, really well priced, really well curated. I love both of those. I always make sure to hit them when I'm there.
Where are you going for dinner?
Where am I going for dinner? I would say one of two things. One of my favorite places is Asador Tacos. Have you been?
Yeah, it's so good.
The one in the back of Las Perlas in 7th Grand. There's like a mezcal bar and a whiskey bar on East 7th Street with a really good taco truck in the back. Both really fun bars, amazing tacos. I absolutely love it there. I haven't been in a really long time, but that's probably one of my favorite places to go. Where else?
Where'd you go out? I don't even know where people go out anymore. There.
I feel like my favorite places to go out have all closed, so that's really disappointing. But like, I loved Outer Heaven.
Oh yeah,
that was my favorite
bar,
which closed, which is sad. I really like Far Out. I've only been like there twice. It's in South Austin. It's like a jam band bar with like, it's all outside. It was very fun. There's always live music. I liked Far Out. I like Far Out a lot.
Dessert.
I love Amy's. It's so good.
You're
love
loyal.
Amy's ice cream. I feel like I'm loyal. That was like the least innovative or fun Austin descriptor of a day ever.
But the vibe there, though. It's casual. It's good.
Yes, it is casual. It's good.
Thanks for coming on. Where can everybody find you?
Thank you so much. Everyone can find me. We're Shop Spicy Dan on absolutely everything. Maybe one day we'll secure the Spicy Dan handle. That's
Oh, somebody has that?
I need to get the Spicy Dan handle. So before I had the brand, my Instagram handle was Spicy Dan Noodles. I really wanted Spicy Dan. I guess the personal brand was there before the actual brand. But the boy who has it at the time, he was a high school student in Michigan. He has since graduated college and is a normal adult because this was a million years ago. Him and I have struck up a friendship. We initially started kind of soft bullying each other via Instagram DM in 2017, 2018. There was a snowstorm in Austin when it was really bad in 2020. Yeah. He DM'd me. He's like, I hope you're safe. Is there anything that I can do or send you? Are you okay? I'm like, thank you so much for reaching out. Yes, we're good. But we've kind of had this weird internet friendship with this boy, Dan from Michigan, for all of these years. He has the handle Spicy Dan. I recently hit him up and I was like, hey, can we talk? And he was like, yeah, what's up? And then I got scared and I didn't answer, but I need to figure out.
Wait, but you guys are friends. This is best case scenario.
I know. We've been DMing for literally since 2017. It's almost been 10 years of this DM friendship with this boy. I offered him a $50 Chipotle gift card in 2017 for the handle. And he essentially told me fuck off.
Wait, no. But what? He's just also he's attached.
His name is Dan. He's just a normal guy. He's living his life. I need to ask him. I need to present him a valid and reasonable offer. He's a nice guy and I need to put the steps to doing it.
How did you even come up with Spicy Dan Noodles?
I don't know, if I'm being honest. It kind of just happened. I do love spicy food. I love a Spicy Dan noodle. It kind of just it was the time when everyone had cute, clever, creative puns on their name. It was of the era and it kind of just happened. I wanted to shorten it to Spicy Dan when that era was kind of ending, and my friend Dan in Michigan had already had it.
Oh, I know. I think you could give him a real enticing offer.
I need to.
Maybe he has a love interest and you could send her necklaces and it seals the deal for him. You don't know.
He has a longtime girlfriend. I absolutely need to start sending them.
Yeah, tell her you'll gift her a necklace a month or something.
I know. I need to present him a reasonable cash offer.
Or that their dog could get a necklace named after them.
I know. I need to do all of these things as well as a reasonable, decent cash offer.
We have another idea. Yes. Michigan pop-up with Dan.
Honestly, wait, that's genius.
Wait, I see it. And people would love it. The lure of it on TikTok is this is how you get the domain of a website. I see it.
You're absolutely so right. He will never see this. This is so not something that would come across his page, but I'm going to ask him if we did a Michigan pop-up, if he would do it, and we can make a video about it. That's authentic content.
A story time.
That's content that I would be so into doing.
You guys could go somewhere and eat Spicy Dan noodles together. I see it.
I'm texting him after we get off of this call, and I'm going to be I have a proposition for you, and see what he says. This is a genius idea.
It's I love an internet. These are the OG internet friends, which are so much more fun and authentic.
We would send each other threatening with an asterisk, SpongeBob memes that were no, I'm Dirty Dan for every day for months on end.
Oh my God, I feel I need a visual.
I'll show you after this.
But yeah, okay, so you go to Shop Spicy Dan, but maybe soon you could go to Spicy Dan. You just don't know.
For now, we're Shop Spicy Dan on Instagram. We're Shop Spicy Dan on TikTok, and our website is shopspicydan.com.
All right, ciao, bye.